My name is Chris, and for the TigerGraph Graph for All Challenge, I put together an app called PropGraph. Now, some of you might be familiar with the process of finding comparables for a property. And you may have been on Zillow or Redfin and seen something called a Zestimate or a property estimated property value. But the problem with that is that they can be very opaque, and you're not really sure what necessarily the factors are that go into that. The interfaces are also very focused on discovery rather than valuation. And comparable properties are often limited to a smaller local area based on the agent if you're working with one when you're selling your home. To elaborate on that, really current comparable models fall short. And you could have like appraiser Mike finding like 3 different properties and coming up with some very, very custom model for determining that, but it might not be that accurate in all cases. But what's interesting is graph databases can uncover hidden relationships between appraisers or between agents, in that when property A is comparable to B and property C is comparable to B, like A is comparable to C transitively. Now the PropGraph interface essentially starts off as a blank slate, and you can see there's no properties loaded into the database. From the app, you can take a download from Redfin, and here's an example, and be able to upload it directly into a TigerGraph instance. In this case, I had example CSV with 1,400 rows, and those will be loaded into the app. Coming back, if I click refresh, those properties are now immediately available in the map interface. And I can drill into any particular one, mark it active, and then compare it against other properties in the view based on these different metrics. So if I did baths, square footage, or beds, and get a more transparent estimate based on the different factors within the area. Let's say 2 different properties were indicated as comparable. The agent was simply marked as comparable, and an entry gets stored in the database, which can now be represented as a graph that I showed in that presentation earlier. As data is being collected, your graph database is going to be accumulating different comparables that have been marked by agents. And I have this comparable search function, which is actually back in the demo, that allows you to search for a layer depth n instead of 1. And what's powerful about that is that now where previously you could just compare against like properties in Boston, I could compare a property in Boston to, let's say, something in the UK or even beyond, because there's a network of comparables being marked by different agents in that map-based format. So where this could go next, we could collect in the MLS, we could come with a more advanced pricing model based on the comparables, or come up with a visualization for those different metrics. Now the code is on my GitHub, but that's pretty much the PropGraph project, and thanks for your time.